What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the SamSportsTalk YouTube channel. Guys, if you are new here, do not forget to subscribe, like this video, drop a comment. We got a big one today. I've been trying to put out this video for a couple of weeks, trying to get my mind right. We've been looking at a ton of rumors over the past couple weeks, and you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. I am here. I'm going to predict what the Yankees offseason is going to look like, who they're going to sign, who they're going to trade for, who they're going to trade away, and what the roster is going to look like going into next season. All right, so let's get started with a couple things. First off, I'm going to put this out there right now. Apparently, the Yankees are going to exceed the luxury tax this year. So realistically, we don't even know what kind of numbers we're playing with right here. Realistically, you know, they tried to stay under that luxury tax for multiple years, making these cheap deals here and there, like we saw with the Kluber deal last year. So mind you, we don't even know what kind of money these guys are working with. So I'm not necessarily going to sit here and put out a fantasy team for you, but I think all of these moves are possible with the money that the Yankees do attain right now with some of the guys that came off the books. So here we go. I'm going to start off with the free agency signing, some of the extensions, all that kind of stuff. And obviously the first one's easy. The first priority this offseason has got to be to extend Aaron Judge. Now, Aaron Judge is the centerpiece of this core. He was the centerpiece of this core when he came up in 2017. We made that run to the ALCS against the Astros, the Baby Bombers, as they were called. You know, right now the Baby Bombers are kind of in dire, you know, not too great compared to what we were looking at a couple years ago. This man needs to be extended. It's time. It's his last year of arbitration this upcoming season, so I think it's finally time that we give him his due. So what I'm looking at for Aaron Judge is I think he's going to end up getting an 8-year, $220 million deal from the New York Yankees with an opt-out after the 7th season with potential to go get some more money from the Yankees, because you got to lock this guy up. He's got to be the man. He is the cornerstone for this Yankees franchise. And honestly, I would sign him to this extension, and I would automatically make him the captain. Automatically make him the captain. It's a class act. Fantastic baseball player, one of the best defensive outfielders in the league. Obviously, we know what this guy can do with the bat. Able to put up, 40 home runs, 100 RBIs a year with like 920 OPS, you know what I mean? Like, this guy's fantastic. We all love Aaron Judge. We don't want to see him go. Who the hell wants to trade Aaron Judge? You know what I mean? If the Yankees trade Aaron Judge, I think a lot of us might cry. I would probably cry. The first priority has got to be to extend Aaron Judge. If they don't get it done, then that's an issue. The rest of these moves that I'm going to put out there to you guys are not possible if they do not sign Aaron Judge to a long-term deal. It's got to happen 100%. There's no questions about this. There's no debate. You can't tell me in the comments that we're not going to bring this guy back, because that's dumb. He's got to come back. That's the man. That's the first move. That's the first move. So let's get into the rest of the signings that guys are going to be new onto the team. Let's get after it. So let's talk about the small deal. I have a small deal. I got like a medium-sized deal, and I got a big boy deal. Okay. So the small deal, Justin Verlander. I got him on 2 years, $4 million. If you can get him on that deal, that'd be fantastic. Obviously, we hate Justin Verlander. We've hated Justin Verlander for years. He's been our rival, our nemesis for multiple years. This guy's coming off Tommy John surgery, but we all know that he's still a top-class pitcher, and if he can give us 2 more years at an elite level, it would be fantastic for the franchise. You put him right next to Cole, very comfortable from what they had in Houston together. Apparently, the bullpen session that he threw last week was fantastic. The Yankee scouts were out there watching him. He was still topping out at 95. So he still has juice left in the tank. And I think if you can get this guy in a 2-year, $4 million year, maybe an opt-out after the second or after the first year, I think that would be great. I wouldn't go, you could increase this number any way you'd like, but I would not go over $10 million AAV. I don't want to see another Corey Kluber-esque situation where we have a guy that we're paying $10 million a year just to essentially be hurt half the season and not really matter for us in the playoffs. I could see JV coming in, 2-year, $4 million, 2 years, $8 million, something like that. I think it would be a great deal for the Yankees. It would be fantastic for Garrett Cole. It's another one of his guys that he had in Houston. You know what I mean? It would make him extremely comfortable. I think JV would be great, and like I said, we spent multiple years hating this guy between the Tigers and the Astros, but I think this would be a great sign for the Yankees. It gives us a clear number 2 as well. I would love JV on the Yankees. That's the first signing that I would like to make. The second signing, I think this is a little bit controversial as far as the years go. This is a guy that in the last couple of days has really come up, and a lot of beat reporters have been talking about him coming to the Yankees, and I actually literally just got a notification that he met with the Astros today. His reps met with the Astros. Apparently they might sign him. We'll see what's going on, but it's Starling Marte. I would love for Starling Marte to be on the New York Yankees, and I had Starling Marte signing a 4-year, $68 million deal with the New York Yankees at $17 million AAV over 4 years. I think I went with a club option after the 3rd year, because if he's not playing up to his expectations at age 35, then we can just let him go. Starling Marte, a guy who had a career year last year. He's not a guy that's particularly stayed healthy throughout the course of his career, but he did swipe 54 bags last season. He had around 306, had a fantastic offensive season. Led the league in steals last year, which is great. So we need speed on this team. There's not a ton of athletic guys on this team. A guy that swipes bags like Starling Marte would be fantastic for this lineup. He's another guy that you can put at that 2-hole spot. DJ's a leadoff guy, and Starling Marte is another guy. If DJ's struggling, you can put him in that leadoff spot. Guaranteed on-base guy. Starling Marte would be fantastic for this team. Cashman did come out and say that the 2 priorities for this offseason are shortstop and center field, and I am not comfortable with rolling out Aaron Hicks next season as the Yankees starting center fielder. Obviously, they let Brett Gardner walk. He has not signed to a deal yet. We're still waiting to see if he's going to come back to the Yankees on a short-term deal. My pick right here is Starling Marte, and I do not mind the years, to be completely honest with you guys. Speed does not age well in baseball, but looking at 33 years old, I think if you give him a 4-year deal with the club option at the end of the 3rd year, I think this would be a fantastic deal for the New York Yankees. A lot of guys have been talking about it. If they don't end up getting him, I would like to trade for Ketel Marte. So it's either one of the Martes for me. So I'm going to stick with Starling Marte in a 4-year, $68 million deal with the New York Yankees. That's the second signing I would like to see made this offseason. And the third sign, I just mentioned just a minute ago about the Yankees needing a shortstop and a center fielder. And we're here. We're going to talk about the shortstop situation. So obviously the Correa rumors are heating up. That's the big market. Everybody's been talking about it for years. Correa to NYY, all that kind of stuff. You see it. However, that's not my pick. I think Correa will be a Detroit Tiger. I think he's going to get a shit ton of money. I'm talking like $350 million. Correa's going to get paid this offseason. Led the league in WAR last season, so he's going to want to get paid. Like, I don't think the Yankees are going to want to shell out that kind of money when they have these other gaps to fill, like I said with Marte. And then this guy, who I think is going to end up being cheaper, I would love to have Mr. Corey Seager be the third signing for the New York Yankees this offseason. I have Corey Seager on an 8-year, $210 million contract coming over to the New York Yankees. Listen, I love Seager. He's another guy that hits for average, gets on base. He's a decent glove at shortstop. He's a better defensive shortstop than Gleyber is, obviously. So it's just another void that we had to fill. He's a left-handed bat, works perfectly in this lineup, very similar to what we did at the deadline, trading for Gallo and Rizzo. Seager's my guy. I've been talking about it for a long time. Like I said, with that left-handed bat, perfect for Yankee Stadium. He's another guy that gets bat to ball, get on base for you. He's a postseason performer, a World Series clutch guy. We saw what he did last year in a World Series for the Dodgers. So that is my shortstop signing. I think that is the guy for the future. Another thing with Corey Seager is with Anthony Volpe coming up to be able to play that shortstop position for the future for the Yankees, I think we could see Seager move over to third base as Volpe starts to come up and takes over that shortstop burden. I think Seager's 100% a guy that can move over from shortstop, make the transition easily to third base. He's a bigger guy, about 6'4", so I would love to see it happen. Seager's my pick for the shortstop candidate this offseason. All right, so let's talk about trades. So I have one guy that I think the Yankees are going to trade for and one guy that I think is going to end up leaving the club. Not sure what's going to happen. It all revolves around the DH and the NL, to be completely honest with you guys. So the first guy that I think is getting traded, and you guys noticed I did not have the Yankees signing Anthony Rizzo this offseason. I think they're going to pull off the Matt Olson trade. So this came up on my Instagram feed from Just Baseball Fans. I will link their podcast below when they talked about this page. I absolutely love this graphic. Asked Peter if I could use it, and he told me I could. So here it is. Here's the mock trade that the Yankees would be doing with the Oakland Athletics. So in this trade scenario, the Yankees will be getting Matt Olson, and the A's would be receiving Oswald Peraza, Medina, Austin Wells, and Deivi Garcia. In my personal opinion, this is a no-brainer move. Matt Olson is a guy on $12 million a year under team control for the next 2 seasons. He's going to be cheaper than Rizzo is, and I think he's overall a better player than Rizzo is. That doesn't mean I had no hard feelings toward Anthony Rizzo, but Matt Olson is a younger, better version of Anthony Rizzo. Fantastic in the field, great contact guy, hits 40 bombs a year. We love Matt Olson. I've loved Matt Olson on the A's for a very long time, and I always dreamed of having him on the Yankees. And now with these rumors coming up, the A's are looking to sell apparently and get younger, and are apparently looking into a rebuild phase now. They're going to sell all these guys. So I think it's going to happen. I truly think that the Matt Olson trade is going to happen. I would love to have him on this team. And that's the trade proposal that I have for the Yankees this offseason. And listen, man, you guys know how I feel about Luke Voit, you know, and I just talked about us trading for Matt Olson. That's cool. Obviously, you guys know Luke Voit's my favorite player. He kind of got shelled out by the Yankees this season, so he's gone. Luke Voit's going to end up getting traded, and it sucks. I don't know what kind of value you can get back. I think you would probably look for like a reliever type. If you could put him in the deal for Olson, that would be nice as well, but I think Voit's gone. I think if you get a solid reliever out of Voit as well, that'd be great, you know, like I said, but I think Voit's gone. I think that's the one guy that's going to go via trade this offseason. So breaks my heart because that's my favorite player. But, you know, I'm a Yankees fan before anything. I would wish Luke Voit nothing but the best, and I would love to see him succeed somewhere else. So signings and trades are complete. Let's run through it. I'm going to throw up a graphic of what this team is going to look like right here on paper. Obviously, Joey Gallo is still going to be the everyday left fielder for the New York Yankees. We got Starling Marte in center field, Aaron Judge in right, and then going around the infield, we have DJ LeMahieu starting next season at third base, Corey Seager at shortstop, Gleyber Torres at second base, Matt Olson at first base, and I do not think that the Yankees are going to make a catcher move, so I still think that Gary Sanchez is going to be the everyday catcher for the New York Yankees next season. And obviously, Giancarlo Stanton is still going to be that guy at DH. And when you talk about the rotation, you still have Garrett Cole. Like I said, you're bringing on Justin Verlander. We're still going to have Severino. We're still going to have Montgomery. We're still going to have Tyone. Nestor could be in that rotation as well. You know, who the hell knows what's going on with Domingo Germán. So that's the potential lineup for next season. I think this team is fantastic right here on paper. Obviously, we all know how the Yankees love to disappoint us after making these big-time signings, but I have a feeling that this is going to be exactly like 2009, where we bring a bunch of stuck guys in and they win the World Series. I would love to see it, and I know the rest of you guys would as well because you're all Yankees fans watching this video. So, guys, thank you for watching. Do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I will drop all the socials in the description at SamSportsTalk on pretty much everything. TikTok, Instagram, my Twitter is just at SamLuchini. It's not SamSportsTalk, but if you search up SamSportsTalk, you will find that. So, guys, thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, and go Yankees.